Japan is quite a beautiful place. Japan has a flower I consider to be in my top three most beautiful flowers, the cherry blossom. It has such a gorgeous aesthetic to it that it just makes people like me just want to go out and explore. Not to mention that the honor system in Japan that where strangers trust each other so much that they leave their stores unattended with their products and have a little bag for money. The trust that other people wouldn't just steal their products and they would just pay for it. In recent years, its character has been tarnished, but not all, but some foreigners. Some foreigners are disrespecting Japan's nature and its citizens. I'm going to interview a Japanese citizen, get some background behind the psychology, and most importantly, also offer solutions to stop the disrespecting. To give insight of the problem, the video by Only in Japan God27 titled Japan's Super Rude Tourist Problem underlines the example of tourists disrespecting Japanese culture. One of the video segments made by Only shows a group of foreigners shaking a cherry blossom tree, blocking Keisha and Kyoto, and ignoring traffic rules. In Japan, cherry blossom trees are really special to the Japanese citizens. They walk past it almost every day and grow up with it. And so when tourists don't have the same connections as the Japanese stake these trees, it just makes it an appalling scene. For me, personally, it brings a tear to my eye to note that the tree deserves so much more respect, and it's just sad. The video highlights another instance, but instead of nature, it's people called geisha, or a highly trained woman entertainer who performs arts, music, and dance. The geisha has been tormented by tourists. Tourists would actually get in the way of a geisha to get a photo of them walking towards while pointing the camera right in their faces. And whenever the geisha would try to get out the way, the tourists would just move to block the geisha yet again. In the video, Only describes the lady to be in the zone, implying that the tourist probably doesn't even consider the geisha as a person but more as an attraction. Which is just wrong and probably illegal, because Japan has some streets that prohibit pictures. Another example provided by Only is a video uploaded by a Japanese news station of rude behavior by foreigners such as them crossing the street illegally. Despite orange cones and signs that tell people not to do this, but yet it is to no avail because tourists are determined to get a shot even if it means ignoring signs are also in English. They don't even think about their consequences, like they could fall or even get hit by a car. In Japan, stupid behavior such as this, the Japanese think about the other person, what will happen to them, and what would happen to that person's family. Some of the logic behind the tourists is that it's okay to do this type of stuff because it's Asia. Because but the thing is, in Japan, has more rules than any other country. Sometimes people hire a consultant to explain certain rules and etiquettes because there's so many rules. Only closes the video with a Japanese saying that he heard from a friend that the sun always watches you. Means that there's somebody always watching you to see if you do the wrong thing. To further cement this idea, I did an interview with a professional Japanese person. Hello, can you please introduce yourself? はい、私は我がカズマです。日本で生まれ育ち、勉強のためにアメリカに移住します。Do you think tourists that visit Japan are most of the time disrespectful? 本当のはそうだけど一度写真を撮るために桜の木を揺らしている観光客を見つけ時はすごく受けてしるみたいなことをされてと感じて。Do you think we should stop tourists being disrespectful? 写真を撮るためあれを自由意志で一人猫をした感覚は刑務所に入られることのと思う。Thank you for your time. どうしてまして。Olga Frustrations leads over to the research that I have conducted. In the article Response to Patriotic Tourist Misbehavior, The Importance of Social Identity, Emotion, and Misbehavior Type by Wanting Sun, explains that tourists often excuse compatriot bad behavior due to in-group favoritism, but uses extreme punishment to protect their image. On the other hand, the article Understanding Disrespectful Tourist Behavior Through Tourist Stereotype Perception by Angie Yeon-suk and Da-Young-soo Kim illuminates that the stereotypes shape action. Positive views of the locals reduce misbehavior, while negative emotions such as contempt increases the bad behavior. The important thing to get from this is that emotion and identity drive action. Destination can use this, such as Japan, promoting positive stereotypes mentioned by Angie, such as marketing locals as warm, competent, reduces moral disengagement. With the addition of encouraging peer policing as briefly mentioned in the only YouTube videos, where tourists call up on other tourists on their bad behavior, which was also implied by Olga. Another example comes from a group of YouTubers that made a podcast called Trash Taste. In their video called Is Over-Tourism Ruining Japan? Underlines a video of a person holding a sign to telling foreigners what not to do. Most of the things on the sign are nonsense and some stuff even Japanese people would do. But this goes to show how bad of impressions foreigners made to the Japanese public. The first thing that comes to mind is to educate and assign accountability to tourists. As a general rule of thumb, it is a good idea to have a general idea of rules and norms to places you go, especially if that place is Japan, because Japan has so many rules that even Japanese don't know them all. Tourists should also keep each other in check. Instead of being part of the problem, they should be part of the solution, and tourists should call up on other tourists to see if they're doing something disrespectful. Hold each other accountable. Japan should also try promoting other places for tourists to go instead of the three same places, Osaka, Tokyo, and Kyoto. And they should go to places like Hokkaido so they can spread out and not all be in the same place. Mentioned in the article, Horticultural over tourism in Tokyo competition for successful incitement of visitors over to less crowded gardens by Sho Shiminoyara examines a garden manager in Tokyo adapts over tourism in Tokyo by promoting tourists to go to other places in Japan besides the popular places. In addition, add-on would be legal enforcements. Have Japan officers stand by places where they don't want tourists to do particular things, and to reinforce barriers with concrete material so that people can't easily disrespect it or just ignore it. This respect shouldn't come with tourism. It should come with respect and admiration of culture. By unifying education and enforcement, we can ensure that Japanese heritage thrives. Respect starts with accountability. Let us be a part of the solution.